Happy evening. Welcome to Maheepathi Talks. As you know, because of this COVID-19, schools have stopped, colleges have stopped, but learning has never been stopped. Eminent personalities like Nagaraj sir, they have been sharing their knowledge, and many people are getting benefited through this YouTube. And I'm sure that today the topic, which is very important and need of the hour, everybody needs it to know about strength analysis for teachers. So unless you know what are your strengths and how you are going to go about, very important. I'm sure that today's session is going to throw a lot of light about the strengths of the teachers, especially how they need to go ahead. It's my privilege to introduce today's resource person, uh, M.nagaRAJU sir. He has pursued his MA, MEd, PGDT, taught English language and literature to graduate and postgraduate students at various colleges till he retired from government service in 2012 as a selection grade lecturer in English. Earlier, he served as uh, principal of a postgraduate college for 5 years. He was a conscientious and popular teacher for over 36 years with the additional responsibilities of student advisor 12 years, discipline committee convener for 9 years, and college annual magazine chief editor for 14 years. He organized more than 15 educational tours across the length and breadth of the country. He made innovative efforts to make learning an interesting and enjoyable experience for his teachers. He is a master trainer in communicative language teaching techniques, certified by the US State Department English Language Fellow Program. He has conducted workshops for APS, CH, Andhra Pradesh State Higher Education, and APH, RD, and IIIT, GUKT, CCEAP, AP Judicial Academy, CELT, Cambridge University Press, Telangana State Welfare Residential Education Institutions, EEI, APSSDC, and several universities and institutions. He has organized more than 150 training workshops for English lecturers working in engineering colleges, degree colleges, and polytechnics. He co-authored and edited 4 textbooks for university and polytechnic students and designed other learning materials. Mr. Raju, a popular resource person in communication skills, soft skills, and deployability skills, has been invited to speak on several current academic and general topics at various educational forums and workshops including UGC-sponsored orientation and refresher courses and national seminars. He has presented more than 50 TV lessons for degree and intermediate students. His contribution and commitment have earned him many rewards and recognitions. And the introduction goes on. No, I feel privileged and proud to invite Nagaraju sir to deliver the topic, today's topic. Uh, in spite of his busy schedule, he could give us some time, and he's passionate in sharing his knowledge and making the people to be successful in the field of their course. On today's topic, which is very important, he has put in uh, many decades of experience in teaching not only the students but the trainers. I can say that is the trainer for trainers and almost Lions Club. You take anywhere in our country, you find Sir talking on various aspects and various platforms. We're happy, sir. Glad to invite you to talk on the topic strength analysis for teachers. Now I invite Nara sir to delve the topic.
Thank you very much, Srinivas. Thank you for all those wonderful things you said about me. I'm so very happy to spend some time with the participants, with the listeners this evening. This is one of those very few occasions when I do not know who the participants are. Maybe I can't see them and I don't know what their background is, what their qualifications are, and then what brings them here. And I don't think I can even interact them because most of you are on YouTube, I think. But maybe still, in case you write something in the chat box on YouTube, perhaps somebody will read them out to me, and perhaps that will give me an idea of what's happening. Okay, coming to the topic, strengths analysis for teachers. If you are a teacher and if you have decided to know what your strengths are, and if you are interested in knowing some simple techniques to assess yourself, to self evaluate, and also analyze what strengths you already have, and if you're passionate about knowing about them, if your answer is yes to all these questions, perhaps you are in the right place. Otherwise, maybe you can just sit and then listen, and I'm sure still it will benefit you. Okay, so let's move from here. You see two pictures on the screen. I think they're self-explanatory. I don't need to explain them, and I don't need to tell you much about them. Because you cannot interact with me because you are in YouTube, perhaps I'll take a minute to tell you what they are. What you see on the right side perhaps is not very difficult for you to interpret. So you see a cat in front of a mirror. A cat is looking into the mirror, but surprisingly, it does not see a cat there in the mirror. It sees something else. What does it see? Instead of seeing a cat there, it sees a lion there. Not because there is a true lion in the mirror, but because, I think you can guess the answer. Because the cat imagines itself to be a lion. So where is the lion? The lion is inside the cat. The lion is in the cat's imagination. Because the cat believes that there is a lion inside it, it sees a lion there. Otherwise, it would have just seen a cat, or it would have seen a rat or something else. Now on the left side, you see a second picture. A pawn, a chess pawn, looks into a mirror and it sees a king or a queen or something else there, something much, 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 much bigger than itself. How is it able to see that? The pawn is not the king, the pawn is not a queen, the pawn is nothing else except a pawn, but it sees a queen in a mirror because it imagines itself to be a queen, and also it realizes that it has the potential to become something much bigger, right? It has the potential. Where is that potential? That potential is inside it. If you know chess, a rook cannot become a queen, right? A knight cannot become a queen, but a pawn can become a queen. That's the beauty of it, right? So however small you are, you become what you want to be, or you become whatever is potentially within you, right? What you are really capable of, provided you undergo a certain deliberate, conscious transformation. Like the cat is able to see a lion of itself in a mirror, like the pawn is seeing a queen inside the mirror. Now you can make yourself what you want to. So if you want to analyze, if you want to understand what a strength is, I'll just give you three qualities. If you remember these three sentences, you will understand what a strength is. A strength is always inside you, right? Don't search for strengths outside. Outside, there are plenty of opportunities. When you look around, you find lots of opportunities. But before you find your opportunities, you must know what's inside you. Are you capable of doing something? Right? What are you capable of doing? What are you good at? Right? It is an internal resource. Right? Always remember this. Strengths are not outside you. Every strength is inside you. Every strength that you need is perhaps already potentially like a seed in its seed form is already sown in you. Now you need to provide the right environment, that's all. Right? The right kind of environment. Once that is provided, the seed sprouts and the seed becomes a plant and a tree and whatever. So the strengths are already there inside you. And of course, what strengths are there inside you? You must make an effort to analyze, to discover, to find, and also refine, improve, transform, and so many other things. So strengths are internal resources. What's not with you now is not your strength. If you have 10 rupees in your pocket, 10 rupees is your strength. 5 lakh rupees in the bank is not your strength. That is bank's strength. You may have a potential to win that 5 lakh rupees, but when it comes to you, it becomes your strength. Strengths are not dreams. Strengths are not goals. Strengths are not ambitions. Strengths are what you already are bestowed with. I think I'm spending so much time to explain it to you because there is a lot of confusion when I speak to teachers, when I speak to other people outside colleges. People think that, oh, this is my strength because I have access to it. Even if you have access to it, it becomes a strength only when you own it, right? The second one, it's within you and it's with you. Sometimes not inside exactly. The 10 rupees that I talked to you about is not inside you, but is with you, right? Then the third thing, a strength is something that helps you achieve what you have decided to achieve. It helps you go in the direction in which you have chosen to go. It helps you achieve a goal that you've set for yourself. I want to achieve that. If my strength helps me or takes me there, that's a strength. Suppose it does not do it, it's vested with me, but it's useless. Right? I have a certain potential, I have a certain strength, but I don't use it to achieve the goals that I've set for myself. So though the strength is there, it has not been utilized. A pawn has the potential to become a queen, but every pawn does not become a queen. Remember, every pawn does not become a queen. Only if it goes through a certain process, overcoming several difficulties, taking lots of different kinds of risks, and then only the pawn can become a queen. So every cat does not become a lion only if it has the ability to visualize itself as a lion can become a lion. So of course that's all soft skills, that's all personality development, that's all a different story altogether. But I have taken these two examples to tell you that you must understand what a strength is, then only you can analyze what your strengths are. So in case you want to grow today as a teacher, I'm talking to you as teachers, right? In case you are a teacher today, and in case you want to begin growing, the first thing that you need to is discover yourself, right? Discover something that's already there inside you. You must know yourself, what your skills are, what your abilities are, what your potential is, what your strengths are, what you're equipped with already, right? If you discover, if you take a magnifying glass, and if you look inside you, right? If you look at yourself, right? If you ask lots of questions and look within and realize what skills you have, what strengths you have, then your growth begins. Suppose you are given $1 million and you don't know that there are $1 million, you think that that's all rubbish. Then what's its value? The value of the $1 million that you have with you is zero because you have not realized that. You don't know, you never opened that bag. You did not look inside. You thought it was a waste basket that you've been carrying all through. So only when you realize that there is $1 million inside, you can plan what to do with that, how to use that money, how to ensure your success, how to progress, and other things. So the first thing that you need to learn to do is to look within, know your skills, and start building yourself from there. Okay, I'll give you 2 minutes time. What to do is you read the list there quietly, right? Identify a few skills that are useful to you as a teacher on condition that you already possess them. If you think you have some of these skills, right, just identify which ones do you have. For instance, you are very good at planning. Your planning skills are very good, right? You have a planning skill. So in case you have that, you put a tick mark there. Suppose your communication skills are excellent. All teachers need them. Most of these 25 things that I've listed there relate to teachers. The ones on the left side more directly to teachers. The ones on the right side not so very directly, but they are essential for success, perhaps in any field. Right? Suppose your communication skills are excellent. So every teacher needs them. It helps you progress in your career. If your previous experience, that's a strength you have. You have good memory, that's very helpful to you. You have confidence, right? You are not shaky. You're not nervous when you go to a class, right? And you have the right kind of confidence, not too much overconfidence, but the right kind of confidence. I think that helps you. So this is a long list of skills, long list of some kind of strengths. In case you possess them, your journey has begun the moment you have discovered that you have them. Any one of these 25 things I have listed, and maybe another 500 you can add to that list. All these things, suppose they are already with you, you have them, but you don't know that you have them. Right? You have intelligence, but you've never used that intelligence. Either you did not get opportunity to use that intelligence, or you did not create an opportunity for yourself to use that intelligence. Right? Either way. People did not give you opportunity. You did not create an opportunity for yourself. But intelligence is with you, but never used it. So in such cases, a strength lying just unused, covered, right? Unutilized. But if the same skill that's there with you, if you realize and if you know that you have this and then you begin putting it to good use, automatically your progress has begun. Right. Move from here. I will give you some just 6 questions which will help you identify your strengths. How to identify? There must be some technique, no? I don't know. So somebody must tell me, or I must do something. There must be some analytical tool, something that I need to do so that I will realize what my strengths are. So these 6 questions, basically, I think there can be another 50 questions that I can add to this list, but I think these 6 are very, very typical kind of questions that will help anyone realize one's strengths. What is the first one? Are there any skills, qualifications, tools, resources, things that you have unique access to, that you think you can do and perhaps nobody else can do? Something you are extremely good at compared to others. Nobody does it as good as you do. That is your strength. I told you, a pawn can do something that a knight cannot do, a rook cannot do, somebody else cannot do. Perhaps even the king cannot do. So that is unique. Only the pawn has that ability to progress in a certain way and upgrade itself to crown itself. Okay, so are there any things that you have unique access to, that you are extraordinarily good at? Right? Look at the organizer of this program, Maheepathi Srinivas rao. There are 1,000 teachers, or there are perhaps 10,000 teachers in Hyderabad. All of them have similar access to tools. But he took the initiative and he started this program. I don't know too many details about this program, but maybe he is using technology, he is using YouTube channel, he is using Zoom to bring knowledge, skills to teachers at this wonderful program. Right? So he is unique. Why not the 9,999 other teachers not doing it? We don't know the reasons, but he is doing it. He is unique. Only one, only Maheepathi talks. Only one is similar to this. So whenever you do something really very unique, you are the only one of that kind. You have no parallel. You have no rival. Right? You have nobody, no competitor. Right? You have nobody anywhere near you, then I think that's your strength. Now, after going home today, ask yourself, what is it that I only can do? What is it that I can do which others cannot do as a teacher, as an academician? So what is it that exclusively, that is some kind of a patent right with me, patented right with me? I have a patent to this. Yes, I can do this. Others cannot do it. So identify those things that are absolutely automatically your strengths. Instantly, they are your strengths. The second question that helps you identify your strengths: what do you do better than others? Maybe not you are not the only one. Maybe another half a dozen people also are doing it, but you can do it better than them. In the first case, only you can do. In the second case, you and a few others also can do it, but you can do it better than them. Maybe there are 10 people are running colleges, but there is one person running a college extremely well. The other 5 colleges are not good. This college is extraordinarily good. Right? Maybe 100 people are teaching English, but you can teach English better than others. Right? There are 10 people in your department, all of them speak good English, but your pronunciation is extraordinarily good, and your pronunciation is really, really better than that of many others or all others. So that is your strength. Your pronunciation skills become your strength, something that you can do better than others. The third one: what unique resources can you access? Maybe it's not inside you, but you have access to this. For instance, you have a beautiful library at home. You have 500 good, useful, right, rich resources. And not only just having books, but you continuously access them, you read them often, you refer to them, right? And you know how to use the technology that's available to you. Everybody has Google on the mobile phone, but what they do with the Google, right? That's up to them. What do you do with Google is what you want to do with it. The resource is there, but how you use it? Your smartphone, how you use your smartphone is not the same as somebody else is using the same thing. Okay, so do you have a resource? For instance, there is a dictionary downloaded on your mobile phone. Are you using it? How well are you using it? For what purposes are you using it? How frequently are you using it? How many times have you successfully, quickly accessed that resource that you have? What productivity have you achieved by using that, which others are not able to do? So if they have an access to a resource and that's unique, again, that is a strength of yours. Then I think the fourth thing is very interesting. Ask yourself, has anybody praised me ever? Have my students praised me anytime? Not flattery. There's a lot of difference between praising and flattery. You can easily guess that. You can easily make that out. When students come and tell you, man, you look like Aishwarya Rai, you know that it's not praise, it's flattery. Right? If somebody comes and tells me, sir, you are as smart as somebody, or you are as good as Shakespeare. So I know that this is flattery, this cannot be truth. But praise is different. Suppose after your class over, some 5 students come and tell you, madam, today your lesson was very interesting, madam. It was very impressive. Madam, you speak English really well, madam. Or your vocabulary is really good. You use that word that day. Very impressive, the right word. You speak very sweet. And you always go at the right pace. Suppose students tell you quite frequently, not once, but suppose they tell you quite frequently, many of them tell you, then automatically it becomes reliable. If one person tells you, it can be sometimes for some ulterior purpose, right? It may not be true or it may not be completely true. But when many people tell you, automatically there is some reason for you to believe that. And your strengths lie there. So ask yourself, what are people praising me for? So if people are praising me for, okay, I have these qualities, I have these skills, I have these resources, I have these abilities, perhaps these are my strengths and I can further build on them. What achievements are you proud of? Your past. Look at your past. All the achievements that you've already made. Right? Maybe your strengths are lying there somewhere hidden in those achievements. Suppose you have won a series of awards in a certain kind of a competition. Maybe your skills are extremely good in that skill. Suppose you have participated in 10 debate competitions and you've won 4 medals, right, at different levels. So maybe you have very good debating skills. You have very good oratorial skills. You have very good speaking skills, right? Suppose your articles are published, right? Quite a few of them in some magazine or several magazines. Maybe your writing skills are good. So you have to assess yourself like that. What are your achievements so far till today? So your strengths may lie in your past achievements. So it becomes easy for you to discover them if you look at the achievements that you've made. And finally, maybe this may not directly relate to what I'm talking to you today about, what your academic values are. In case you can relate your strengths to your values, it becomes all the more effective. The process of discovering your strengths becomes. I'll not go into the last one today, maybe some other time. Right. Okay. So another set of questions. So this is for any teacher. Any teacher can ask a few questions to check whether this teacher is good or not, whether I am, how do I know whether I'm good or not? So by asking myself lots of questions. It's always the easiest and also the straightest process of discovering my accomplishments, my successes, and also the areas where I need to progress, improve, repair myself, and do whatever. So, one question, at least in the context of the modern methodologies that we are using, right, the modern outcomes that are expected of us, the modern classroom environment that's gradually evolving, right? The one question that's very essential to ask ourselves is, do I involve my students? The days when lecture method was the only method that was known to teachers, that was the only appreciated way of teaching, when the teacher was the center of everything that was happening in the class, the student was a silent spectator, just sitting passively in the class. Those days are over. Today, I think the very concept of education has changed. The methodologies have undergone a transformation. Lots of changes have happened. Today, student is the center, the focus of everything, starting from the description of the outcomes, the objectives of the course, to the process of evaluation. Everything is student-centered today. It must be student-centered. That's a right realization. So, but what effort am I making as a teacher to involve my students in the class? Am I just teaching and going away? Or am I involving my students? Unfortunately, I cannot involve you today. You're not here physically. Not even virtually. You're not even on Zoom platform. Had you been on the Zoom platform, I would have given you some exercise. I would have at least asked you to chat in the chat box, or maybe ask me a question, something I would have done, but I don't know who you are, where you are, what you are, nothing. I hardly know anything. So this is just a lecture. So this is a bad way of communicating, but this is the only possible alternative that I have today. So do I involve my students? The only thing perhaps I am doing now is, instead of just giving a lecture continuously, I'm asking a few questions here and there. That itself is some kind of involvement, right? It's always better. Or do you think it's better to give a lecture or to put the lecture in the form of a series of questions? So the second one naturally should be a better process, because the student is at least paying attention when the questions are continuously flooding. Right. Okay. So if the answer is yes to question one, maybe you have a strength there. Maybe you have a skill there. Maybe you have greater chances of succeeding in what you're doing. Do I involve my students? The second question you can ask yourself, do I use any collaborative learning tools in my class? Virtual or physical, wherever. Maybe tomorrow you go to a physical class and today you are online and you are giving a virtual lecture or whatever. Maybe it's going to be blended learning tomorrow, whatever. But do I use any pair work, any group work, any collaborative techniques? Do my students interact with each other? Do my students do some projects together? Are my students engaged in interacting with one another so that learning happens easier? Do I gradually make the teacher's job less necessary and the students become independent learners. So if I am doing that again as a teacher, I am becoming more successful. The third question, do I have any games, activities, something interesting, some fun in my class? Don't think this is only for language teachers, only for arts teachers, science teachers must be serious. They must go to the class and then they must say, come on, I don't allow any noise in my class. Fingers on your mouth, fingers on your lips. Be quiet, otherwise I'll send you out to the class. So I think that does not work. Perhaps in the olden days, I don't know how it worked, but research has proved that that does not really work. So there must be some game, some entertainment, some activity, some fun built into the class so that learning becomes more productive, more rewarding, more effective. Okay? So that's why I have to ask myself, what am I doing to ensure that the class is fun? The class is interesting. The class is impressive. Then do I give my instructions right? Suppose I'm organizing an activity, I'm doing something in my class. So, do I give instructions right to my students? If my instructions are bad, I need to brush them up. I need to reframe them. I need to redraft my instructions, rehearse them, and perhaps deliver them appropriately in the class. Okay. Then, do I ask any questions in my class? And elicit from my students? Or do I tell everything? I've just told you that it should not be a lecture, whatever subject you are teaching, right? Even if it's a content subject, not a skill subject, still, I think it should be in the form of question answer. It should be in the form of dialogue. It should be in the form of eliciting so that the students are actively engaged in listening to you, because attention span cannot be very long. If you're just giving a lecture all the time, I don't think students can continuously listen to you. I don't know how many of you have switched off your cameras, how many of you are just sitting in front of that laptop or mobile phone or whatever, and then not paying much attention to what I am telling you now because this is a lecture. Had it been an activity, it could have been different. So if I had asked you to answer my questions in the chat box, it would have been different. Okay, so do I ask questions? Do I elicit? And do I also appreciate that my class is not just one uniform, single mass, but it is individuals, it's human beings. I am dealing with individuals. Everybody is different. Every student is different. It's a it's a highly heterogeneous group of students that have wherever, even if you go to an IIT and teach there, even there you are bound to find your students completely heterogeneous. You don't find a class anywhere in the world where all students are equally capable, equally talented, equally interested, equally performing, unless you are teaching robos. Suppose your class is full of robots and you are teaching robots, perhaps then only it's possible. So you have to identify, as a teacher, you have to identify this heterogeneity, right? So my last slide. As an English teacher, in case you are an English teacher, because Maheepathi is an English teacher and I am an English teacher, I have been an English teacher till I retired some 8 years ago. I taught English at various levels. And today I don't even teach much English, but I am a teacher trainer. I am doing a slightly different kind of role I am playing today. So anyway, so for English teachers, I have a few questions that help you to identify your strengths. So if you're an English teacher, ask yourself, do I speak? Do I write? Do I read? Am I a good listener of English? And then am I very good with the communication skills, with the language skills, right? English language skills, I mean. So because you're an English teacher, suppose you don't yourself speak good English, I think there is something that needs to be done. There should not be an English teacher whose English is bad. So if an English teacher writes the wrong spelling on the board, or maybe he makes, some slips of tongue are different. Slips of tongue are different and mistakes are different. So if you make some serious blunders, mistakes when you speak, when you write, etc., I think maybe you have to think of another profession. Or perhaps you have to take a break, maybe 2 months, 3 months, and then you have to improve your English. And when you realize that your English has improved and you can face a class and you can speak good English, then come back and then do this job. Otherwise, think of some other job. Right? Unless you are a perfect example of what you're doing, I think you are harming your students if you are a bad example. Right? Then how good is my grammar? Grammar teaching is different, knowing grammar is different. Right? You must know the theory of grammar. Right? When you are teaching fluency, when you are teaching speaking skills, when you are teaching lots of other things, perhaps you need not teach the grammar method. You need not, you might not be teaching the rules of grammar to your students unless you are preparing for them some competitive examination. If you are just teaching in a graduate college or an intermediate college, only the examination point of view, you want to help your students pass an examination. That's why perhaps you teach those grammar rules. But otherwise, in case I want to make my students proficient, what do? I don't bother too much about grammar. I teach them, I create an environment, I give them liberty, I felicitate, I facilitate an environment where students interact with each other and learn the skills of language. Okay, right. So, how adequate is my vocabulary? If you are an English teacher again, you must ask yourself this question: do I know enough words? Am I struggling for words? Right? Or, I mean, is my language fluent? Are the right words occurring to me at the right time? Am I using the, all this can be done, whatever I am telling you can be easily done if every teacher has a smartphone in his or her pocket, and then she takes the class and then maybe records herself, either audio or video, and goes back home and then listens to herself. So you, for instance, you record your own lesson today and then maybe you listen to it again at home and ask yourself what are the improvements that it needs, what sentences did you construct, and then what sentences need improvement, what mistakes have you made. I think that's enough. That is the way to progress. So, do I use the right collocations? Is my language fluent? Is my pronunciation accurate? Do I use a variety of structures? Or is my English boring, dull, drab, right, uninteresting? So, I have to ask all these questions to myself. Once I start asking the right questions, and once I find the answers to those questions, I identify what my strengths are, what my troubles are, what are the trouble areas, right? What are the points which need improvement, refinement, and then I begin approaching them, right? And I think your progress has begun. So I think I'll stop there. Maybe in case there are any questions, perhaps what you can do is you can post them in your YouTube, and either Maheepathi or somebody will rate them for me. And I don't mind spending some time with you, taking those questions and answering those questions. So if you have 1 or 2 minutes, so let's just recall what we discussed today. I told you what a strength is. Strength is always inside you, right? Strength helps you, every strength helps you achieve your goals. Strength is a potential that you have, it needs to be put to use. It's some kind of a resource, either you have within you or have immediate access to, you almost own it. And to identify your strengths, you need to go through a certain simple analysis, and that analysis is a lot of questions. So, what are you good at? What do you have unique access to? And what do people appreciate you for? And what are a few things that you can do extraordinarily brilliantly and others cannot do? Ask yourself this kind of questions and identify the strengths that you are blessed with, and then further build on those strengths to make a career for yourself. Thank you very much for this wonderful opportunity, and thank you very much for this patient listening.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. It was wonderful that you made each and every teacher to know their strengths, what are the areas they need to improve. And also you give a self-test also though. If you have these questions to yourself, you yourself can understand whether you are having all the qualities of a teacher where you are able to make the best. And I'm sure that the people are watching on YouTube and also here, they would like to understand and they would like to know their strengths and to make their life better career. Thank you very much, sir. Chandrasekhar would like to speak something.
Yeah. Great evening, Naraj sir, and other participants over there.
Great evening.
Sir, your presentation was superb, sir. It was to the point, and the questionnaire. It's like for any teacher who wants to improve, honestly, would be a great help. In fact, I was reflecting on myself, and I was checking on every point when the presentation was going
Great.
on.
That's great.
It was sort of an introspection for me, and I'm sure, sir, it helps, and it helps big time. No, it was meticulously, programmed. I think so. It was simple, to the point, and very easily to understand, and it helps big time, sir. Thank you for
Thank you so much.
the lecture, which is so helpful for as many people as they can view on YouTube or maybe other program, whatever. So thank you for once again. Thank you, Maheepathi Srinivas rao, for giving a great opportunity to listen a personality like this, your personality like this.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chandrasekhar. Thank you very much. Thank you for your no, reflection. I can say that no, because you rightly said that the questionnaire was like self-assessment, where how am I doing and all. Thank you, Nara sir. Thank you very much for making your time, and I'm sure that the session which is there live on YouTube, more number of people will try to understand themselves and make their life better and successful. Thank you very much, Nara sir.
Thank you.